Trends and Issues, 843. This is a class that I really do enjoy. And in this short introduction video, I'd like to answer 6 questions for you. For example, how do I navigate this course? I always wanted to know that when I first began a course. Also, what text are you going to be using? Who the teacher is as a person? What are you going to be doing as far as activities in the course? And how am I going to get an A? That's always my first question. And then last, will there be anything that I'm going to learn in this course that I can actually use in my life? So let me answer those 6 questions for you in that order. First off, in navigating the course, the very first page that you come to is what we call the home page, and this welcomes you to the course, and there everything you need to know from the orientation that I'll take to the text to the different curriculum areas is covered for you. It even introduces your instructor. Also on the home page at the very top, as the announcements come, as the announcements are posted, you'll find them listed from each of the weeks, and there you can read the announcement, and it keeps you updated on the course material. The second page in the course is we call the syllabus page, and there is everything, again, you need to know to be successful. Would like for you to download the syllabus and to read it, or you at least could read it on the page. And then below the syllabus, you'll find all of the different policies from PSU for attendance and the like listed there. All you got to do is click on them and they show them to you. And then at the very bottom are all the assignments and their due dates, and it even keeps track of the grades that you get on those assignments. So your syllabus page has a lot of needed material. When you read a announcement, you're going to find that I'm going to ask you usually to reply to it, but all the announcements are found on the third area or above the home page. You also get them as an email. And in the announcements, you're going to get feedback from our previous module. You'll get instructions for the next module, and then there will be several videos or cartoons that I'll ask that you react to at the bottom of the page, so other people can read in your class about what you said. In navigating the course, the modules page is the fourth one, and there, when you click on it, you'll see something that looks like this. And if you click on each one of those, then you're going to find all the activities, the videos, the articles for that module. Module page contains everything you need to do in the course and all the different course materials and videos, the Dropbox. But when you click on that, it'll look something like this. And then also at the very top of each of those pages, you'll find the things to do page. It will list your objectives and then the things to do, and even end with a real neat little video. I hope you watch. At the very top of the things to do page, you'll find a navigation bar, which kind of keeps track of what you clicked on, what you looked at in that module. In each of the modules, you'll find the required videos, and those are usually 1 or 2 narrated PowerPoints that I've done. If you don't want to use them as a sleeping aid, you could also, underneath it, just look at the slides. That is, you won't have the narration, but you also have just the information that we talk about in each of those slides. Then also, you'll find background videos and websites, supplemental videos, and sometimes we'll say view them, and then some of them don't say view. You can view those at your discretion. The required articles usually are, again, will have the word view underneath them. Those you can read or scan or use to answer the activities or the questions in each of the activity that we ask you to do in the module. The activity drop box is usually the last thing you'll find under assignments. There, under the assignment, you'll find the chapter questions, activities, and the discussion board. And if you click on that, you'll see something that looks like this. And you use this as a template. That is, if you click on that little thing, it will download in a Word format the template, and then you can answer your questions on that. It's rather simple once you do it the first time. On the discussion page, you'll find a page that looks like this. You have 4 questions, and you only answer one in the module, and then other people will react to your position on that question that you chose. If you want to find the people in your class, that's the 5th navigation menu page. You can see who's in the class with you. We're going to meet each other in a quick Zoom meeting, about 45 minutes, just a meet and greet Zoom meeting at the beginning of the semester. You'll also be able to introduce yourself on the first discussion page. And there in that discussion page, we ask you to talk a little bit about what you're doing now, your school, your grade, your subject, and the like. And then anything you want to share with us about your personal history. Like you're going to see a lot about my grandchildren as we go through the course. And then end with one true and one false statement about you. That way we kind of can remember you in a unique and different way. As I mentioned, the Zoom meeting will be usually the second week of the course. It's optional. You don't have to attend, but it's kind of a meet and greet and ask questions to make sure we're all on the same page. The second thing that you're going to find that you want answered is what am I going to use as a text? Well, it's free for you. A number of years ago, I sat down and tried to iron out a textbook, and over the years been adding to it. So now you can download the entire text at this website, or you can do it by chapters in each of the modules. You'll find those text underneath the things to do page. You'll find the textbook reading right there. You don't even have to download it if you don't want to keep it, but you just scroll down through there and can read the text. They're usually about 8 to 10 pages long on the text. Third thing I always wanted to know about was the instructor. If you haven't taken a class from me before, watch the life and times of Charles Kent Runyon. I think you'll find it not very academic, but a good way to introduce what type of person I am. If you really want an academic background, you'll find that also on the very first module. But who am I as a person? Well, find that out. In fact, I've got some true and false statements. As you watch that video, see if you can answer those true and false after watching the life and times of Charles Kent Runyon. Well, the next question always is, what am I going to do in this course? Well, we're going to look at the critical issues facing the American school and the trends that we find maybe holding some promise for restructuring the American system. It changes every year. A lot of the same issues have been going on for a decade, so you find a lot of similarity in some of the issues, but no course is ever the same that I've taught over the last 30 years. The pre and post test is the very first assignment that you do. We have basically 5 major areas of assignments, and the first one is you take a pre-test of 50 questions asking you to take a position on whether or not you agree or disagree on 50 statements, and then the same 50 statements are asked in the post-test, and we want to see if you change. I'll also tally up the pre and post-test to see how you might fit in with your classmates, and we always have a lot of diversity in opinions on whatever issues the pre-test ask about. Also, you'll do 6 chapter activities. These are the 6 modules. You'll have usually 8 questions to do in that module, or 8 activities, and those are submitted by way of template, which we showed you. And then there are 6 discussion boards. Again, you choose 1 of 4 questions, and then people react to that. And it's kind of a fun topic because we have such diversity in opinions. Near the end, the last module, you do 2 school law quizzes. Those are pretty simple, but will keep you out of legal trouble. In essence, what you do is uh, as you take the test, you will watch the video on another screen, and the test follows right down the line with what the video does. So if you're watching the video and taking the school law quiz, you should get all the points possible. Then at the end, you'll evaluate me, and in the very first day of week of class, you'll do the course quiz to make sure that you understand the syllabus and the like, and then you also introduce yourself, and those are all worth little minor points, but those are how you will get your A on the various assignments. Well, being more specific, what's the pre and post test survey like? Well, again, there are 50 questions that you take. You'll see if you agree to disagree, and then I'll tally them up, and you can see how your class did. It's anonymous. You will never find your name or anybody's name with your responses, but you can check yourself to see how you fit in with the rest of the class. I find it really fascinating how much difference we have in opinions as teachers. So give it a look-see. On the chapter activities, after reading all the material and viewing the material in that module, your answer usually 8 questions. It's by template. You go to the template. I'll show you in a minute, but you download it and it will look something like this, and all you got to do is type in your responses right here. Same thing here, same thing there. Follow the directions and write your answers, then you submit them. At the very end of the chapter activities, you'll see something that looks like this. They're quick reads, and you'll go to the various quick read articles, there are hundreds of them. And I'll show you where those are located in a minute, but under those titles, you simply list the title of the article you read, and in one sentence, just one sentence, you will take a position on it. Don't want to elaborate, just take a position on whether or not you agree and why. So those will be fun because there are so many varied ideas and issues in those quick reads. The quick reads are found underneath, like for example, in the very first module, chapter 2A, you'll find the 2 areas of quick reads, the social issues, the instructional issues. Now, if you click on social issues, you'll see something like this. And I keep adding to them. They're all kind of recent articles. And you pick out 5 that you find by title look rather interesting, and then read it. They are quick reads, usually no more than 5 minutes. If you want to find some other articles for your supplemental documentation, then we give you in the first module a whole bunch of places to find different types of articles. The submission is done through the Dropbox, and it's pretty simple. You simply download the template, which is right there. And then once you fill it out in a Word document, or you could even use Pages if you're a Mac user, once you've got it completed, submit it, and it tells you whether or not it went through or not. On the discussion boards, it's still real simple. You go to the discussion board, you find one of the 4 questions that you want answered, that you feel you want to answer, and then you answer it, and you'll find a whole bunch of people responding to you, hopefully, as the days go by. When you respond to a position in the discussion board or even in the activities, have a minimum of 3 reasons why you take that position. And one of the things I used to teach was 3.8 paragraph. And so at a minimum, try to use it to get started in the sense that in the very first sentence, you state your position and why, the 3 reasons why you have that position. Then in the second sentence, you write about one sentence about your reason for the first point, and then the second sentence or third sentence would be your documentation. How do you support it with example or expert opinion or citation or whatever? The fourth sentence is your second point, and then your fifth sentence would be your supporting documentation. Sixth sentence would be your third point, and seventh sentence being the supporting documentation or example, and then you conclude with a concluding sentence. So those are a simple way to organize. So you've got 3 points and as a bare minimum. When you respond to somebody, I'd love for you to compliment them at the beginning in one sentence, then to comment on their position, whether or not you agree or disagree and why, and then make a connection to that issue to another issue if you can, or ask a question so that we can further discussion. So that gives you different ideas of how you might use the discussion boards and activities. In the end week, you'll take school law quizzes. There's 2 of them on the legal terms and basis for American education. And then the second will be on some 50 legal responsibilities you have as a teacher. And hopefully these 2 will keep you out of legal trouble as you go through your career. But the quizzes follow the video. So as you watch the video, take a quiz, and they go right in hand with one another. At the end, you'll do the course quiz and the instructor evaluation. Well, at the beginning, you do the course quiz, and then at the end, anonymous instructor evaluation, because I want to get feedback on what's worked and what hasn't. So basically, when I evaluate your work, I'll always use a rubric on anything you turn in, and also a narrative evaluation. Now, make sure you read the narrative evaluation, because I spend a lot of time. I will read everything you submit, and I spend a lot of time giving you feedback. So read those if you can. So lastly, is there anything that you're going to learn that's going to be of any help to you? Well, I believe this is a real important course, because as a professional, we have various opinions, but I don't want you to become a victim of just reading whatever somebody else said and believing it. I want you to start to recognize bias, to recognize support, and what the difference is between fact and opinion. So we're spending a lot of time on these issues, and there's no right or wrong, because I'm not looking at your position, I'm looking at how you support it. So don't just argue with your heart. Support it with what other people say, or what research says, or what an example would bring it into focus. If you're going to be late, tell me. Life happens, so come out, kind of try to come up with an original excuse, and I'll definitely cut you some slack, because life just gets in the road sometimes. Also, we take attendance not by you being face-to-face with us, but how many assignments did you complete, and how much time have you spent in the course. Canvas keeps real good track of that. And so if you go 1 or 2 assignments without turning in anything, or there's no contact with me, you may be dropped. So keep that in mind. Make sure you communicate with me. And make sure you set enough time for spending the time with the material or answering the questions. Online learning is not for everyone. So don't be that not for everyone. Set up some time, and you do your best, I'll do the rest. And then last, be respectful. When you interact with other people, try to respect their opinion, and be reflective on what they say. So in essence, a normal cycle for trends and issues in the modules: first you read the announcement, then you look over the text, visiting the supporting websites, watch the required video, and then download the activity template and begin to answer those questions. You can use the quick reads to skim over and help you document the sources. as you write your responses. And then post the position paragraph on the discussion board 3 or 4 days ahead of time and let people respond to you. And you do the same with them. And then after the due date, hopefully the due date, everybody has chimed in and completed that discussion board. And then last, look over your grades. Make sure that I graded it correctly. I didn't miss anything. And if you're not satisfied with your grade on the activities, you can always resubmit them. So keep that in mind. I'm looking forward to a great class, a great group. I always have fun with this class. So I hope you do too. Let's get started.